Channel 4.
Buddy Carter is in his third term as U.S. Representative in Georgia's 1st District. Now, that district has been under national scrutiny the past month with video released of the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. Now 3 people are under arrest, and investigators want to know why it took as long as it did. That's something I asked the congressman about.
Well, I'm much more comfortable now than I was, say, a month ago at what is happening. This is something that obviously we're very concerned about, something that we've had the governor who has come in and instructed the GBI to do an investigation. The day after the GBI got down there, they made arrests, and now we're in the process of making sure that justice is done and that justice is followed, whatever that may be. That is the most important thing, and also reviewing what was done before then, and was there anything improper done, and how does that need to be addressed? Because this is something that we take very seriously. There's outrage in the community as to what has happened here. Obviously, a young man has lost his life, and that is something that this community is not going to stand for, that this nation is not going to stand for. Having said that, I have to tell you that I'm very proud of the way that our community and our district has reacted. If you compare it, if you will, to other events that have happened, just like in Minneapolis, what we've seen happen there, you've seen riots, you've seen lootings and other things. That has not, thankfully, happened in our district. I think that the leaders have come together, community leaders have come together, both African American and white, and have really pulled the community together to say, we want justice done here. We want to see happen, what should happen. And instead of the protest, now there have been protests, yes, but they've been
peaceful.
They have been peaceful protests, and that's something that I think speaks well and highly of our community.
Yeah. You mentioned Minneapolis. There are other places where things get out of control. Why is it different in your district? I mean, clearly you said you're proud of how people have responded there.
Well, I think it's different because our community leaders have pulled together, and the African American pastors, and we have some county commissioners who have really taken the lead to say that what we want here is to see justice, and we want the process to work. We want the judicial process to work here, and all this other stuff is not going to help. And as long as we can make sure that justice is followed, that's what we should be concentrating on. And I have to compliment them and applaud them for the outstanding work that they've done. We've had a core group come together in Brunswick of African American pastors, of white leaders as well, and they've been determined to keep this under control and not let it get out of control. And they've done an outstanding job of that.
Congressman, what have you heard from your constituents on this issue? Because I would imagine some of them have reached out to you very concerned about it.
They have. Surprisingly, not really surprisingly, but we've been getting a lot of calls from outside of the district. And we understand it. This is a national issue, and it's got national attention. We understand that. But from our constituents within the 1st District, specifically within Glenn County, they want to see justice, and they want to see that the judicial system works, and they want to have faith in their public safety and in their police departments, and they want that faith to be restored, and that's very important.
Yeah. Let's shift the conversation a little bit here. You've got a background in medicine, and here we are into our 3rd month of a pandemic and the response. Georgia and Florida both have been kind of out in front saying, hey, here's how we're going to reopen safely. How do you feel about the steps that are being taken now? Are we doing the right thing?
I think we are, and I think it's going to take a combination of 2 things in order for this to be a safe and effective rollout of our economy. One has to be technology, and that is robust testing. We've got to have robust testing. That's going to be very important to make sure that we are focusing our efforts where we need to be focusing. The other has to be personal responsibility. look, we're opening up our economy, but that doesn't mean that we just go back to the way we were before. We still have to practice those things that the task force have been telling us. We still need to wash our hands. We still need to make sure we're practicing social distancing where possible. We still need to make sure that we're wearing masks if you're showing symptoms. All of those things are incumbent upon us and the personal responsibility. And listen, if you're not going to do it for yourself, you need to do it for others. Be considerate of others as well.
I saw Dr. Fauci yesterday saying there are some high hopes that by December, maybe we would have a vaccine. How do you feel about that process? Do you think a vaccine is coming sooner than we expected?
I do. And if you look at it in terms of how long it takes for a vaccination to be developed, this is pretty phenomenal, because usually you're talking 3 to 5 years for a vaccine to come to market. And yet we're talking in perhaps less than a year that it will be not only on the market, but also in mass production. That is simply phenomenal. And it shows you the effort that has been put forth by Congress. Remember that early on, the first package that we passed for the coronavirus relief package had to do with making sure we were having research and development being done for a vaccination. The National Institutes of Health, the CDC, and plus the private-public partnership that we see. That has been something I've been very proud of in this country. I continue to say that the greatest scientists, the greatest innovators are right here in the United States of America. And now we're seeing that. I do think it's very promising that we will have vaccination by late fall or early winter, and that we could see it in mass production and have it out on the market.